gonna give it a go. Hey, welcome to your name's Marge. I have been pathologist like these little talks in the back and things. Guys, I'm gonna try. I have some things I want to get off my mind. They're waiting on me about planet Earth. Betty's right here. Old man Benny. Goofy. So we'll see if he lets me. Upset, he gets upset. So we'll just try. Last few days I've had a pretty peculiar experience. March 20th, 2003, that's when Joint Forces occupied Iraq. On March 23rd, or March 20th, actually the night before, if we go back before that, actually if we go back 2 days before that, the 18th, I knew I was getting deployed. I didn't even really know what was going on in the world. I just went to work every day, flight line support. After 9/11, I had a resentment against my country. I had to honor my commitment because I enlisted to go to college. That's not the case anymore. You don't have to enlist to go to college anymore. Now, in Mexico, like anybody can go. I could go to college, like now if I want, but I don't want to dumb down in their indoctrinated system. So, yeah, the UNM education system is not a place that I want to. Bad enough I participated in the ritual, the indoctrination of the education system in Omaha. That was bad enough. Hey, you want it? You're free to, because I don't want to hear it. I just don't. Thanks though. Yeah, bye. Sensitive content. I'm sensitive anyway. I just really don't want to hear a whining dog here because he doesn't do this until I get online, and then it's just, he's just a dog. He's just a dog. He's just a dog. So I knew I was getting deployed. I even knew where I was going. You know, like they talk about OPSEC and stuff, but it's not really a thing. Friends threw me a big old going away party after the meeting. After I think it was a Friday night meeting, and then the next day I went to work. Went through the deployment line. From hello. I'm talking about my experience about when I went to war and how it's bullshit and we don't need to do that bullshit no more. I gotta let the dog out. Come on, Benny. Come on. I have the receipts. I have the receipts on how military's BS. I could verify it. And the trippy thing that I've been experiencing lately is I looked up March 20th, 2023, because I was on the island of Crete. That's where everybody met before we went on Baghdad. And they even had a special, they overtook Baghdad, I believe it was on the 9th. See, I just found all this stuff out because I was just going to work. But it's such a weird thing because I was going to work every day, but I was staying in this big fancy 5-star hotel where all these tourists were staying. But when you get up so early in the morning and you don't go to work in your uniform, so you go and work in your civvies with like 5 other dudes, or I went to work in my civvies with 5 other dudes, and then we drive across the island of Crete to Suda Bay, and then I would support the flight line. And while I was there, I had my little this was 2003. I didn't have cell phone with. I had a flip phone, but you don't take it to work with you in your pocket. I didn't have service on Crete anyway. This was 2003, mind you. I did have a flip phone, Samsung. So you got and when you go through your deployment line, man, you get all this free shit that people give you because you're going off to war, right? I got this collective soul CD that I listened to the whole time I was there, like on the drive to and from, because it was a 45-minute drive from the hotel, and then we'd swing by another hotel, the Sun. That's primarily where the majority of the personnel stayed, and then we went, and here's just a few pictures. Like, here's the view from the Sun. See, it's not all barracks and digging. Like, America's alive. Are people starting to figure that out? That America's alive? That Hollywood makes war movies to get America to be excited about America, which gives Americans permission to do things like defend democracy and freedom. They're just words on a page, like a script, understand? Only they're acting these things out, and people really die. I wish I knew somebody in Baghdad, like, during that time. I know somebody that is in Iran, that's from Iran. I wonder how he's, Ahmad, I wonder if he's out there and knows, has, because I don't believe there's anything that you see on the screen, anything you see on a newspaper, anything you see on one of these phones. My first thought, I think, is this is bullshit. And then I'll try and find evidence to support, to find that it's true. But it's always, if it's on this, it's bullshit. Because reality is hijacked and contrived, because we are, like Yodomoto guy, the water guy. See, we're 70% water. Like the earth. That's not a coincidence. Understand? So when they yell boo, war, and the whole world gets fucking freaked out, and I'm seeing kids on the internet and that are 30 and 40, and they're crying because they don't want to die because I don't even believe in the capability of engineers and scientists in America to have even developed a nuke. I think they're EMPs. I think that the bomb that was modified, because I was stationed at Offutt Air Force Base. That's where we flew out of. Like, we flew over to Crete, halfway out. I slept the whole time. I don't know. I mean, I don't trip. The whole thing is such a surreal experience. They did wake us up for about 30 minutes so they could refuel in the air. That was kind of a... But they had, like, all the windows. We were in a cargo plane. It wasn't like a passenger plane. Like, they had boxes surrounding shit with equipment and stuff like that. And then we got to this hotel, like, in the middle of the night. It was so weird. It was so, like, special. It was just such a trip. But and then, like, the first week I was there, I didn't have any rank, mind you. I was the oldest airman basic in the military. I don't even know how I got this gig. Like, I had gotten a DUI. Like, they almost kicked me out. Like, like how I ended up in Crete. I turned it around, but still, I was supposed to go to Turkey, but then they diverted us. And then dude Jack was in Turkey, and he got held up there for a little bit, and then ended up coming over to Crete with us. And then we had Sergeant Phil. He took us, like, because we actually had days off, so it was, in between bombing and Iraq for their own good because of some freaking dude. People in politics, they're dropouts of Hollywood. Understand? They didn't have what it takes to be in Hollywood, so they went in the way of politics or military because it's all exercise. It's all contrived. It's all, and they do it in conjunction with the energy of the astrology. So when people have the potential to be wound up, anyway, crabby. That's when they like to start bullshit. See, but when they started the bullshit I was in, it was on the spring solstice, spring equinox, spring solstice. I get them all mixed up. See, I got holes in my brain. I got too much trauma, so I got holes in my brain, so I can't even go around and play with people no more. I'm done. I'm done with society, man. Where I live, it's just not fun. I go out when other people aren't around. Really. That's when I love where I love the land. Every place I've ever lived, I've always loved the land. I'll be darned if freaking people do not ruin every fucking thing that exists. They just ruin everything. They just got people up here. They gotta bring them down here. It's gross. It's selfish. It's icky. It's demonic. But that's the way of the world. Especially in the state I live in. People are getting shot, killed every day. Like, it's not even safe to go out, and that's not even being paranoid. It's because people don't know how to control themselves, and you put that in conjunction with not having any reverence for life, like you don't value life, then that's a really toxic situation in the world, and that combination is about to combust. So I don't go out unless I have a reason. That is for sure. I have been going and walking though, so I'm back to being a hamster on the wheel. There's been a lot of times in my life that I was a hamster on the wheel. Oh, so back to bombing Iraq. So we showed up at the hotel. We show up on base, and then we get a ride over to the hotel, and they divvy like these people go up over to this hotel, and you go over there, and we'll reconvene at 0500 or 04 whatever, past crack at dawn, so we could, because you got to drive like 45 minutes an hour, and then you got to walk another stretch to get to where I can change my clothes and go do my job. And then what they did is they had this whole battalion. It was like 550 Marines. Like, I don't know the battalion name. I don't remember that, but they had like they got there when we got there, and they were all gung ho. They were all kill. They were all stoked to kill people is what they were excited about. And then they went and did Operation Shock and Awe and stuff. They brought those group of young men back to the hangar where I met them. Right? I'm doing my like the shit. Like I'm just supporting the flight line, just being a good little age ranger, right? In between getting threatened to brought up by a linguist that threatened to have me brought up under insubordinate. Like, it was weird. Like, the military's a weird thing. Like, I was so excited to be a part of something that the rules, regulations, policies, and procedures, they stood for something. Like, you can't get around it, because every place I ever worked, it was like they were only. And then once I got to the military and I saw that, all the bullshit that the military is. Like, it was like everybody going over there and collecting a paycheck. Like, we made ourselves a threat, and then we made ourselves a hazard to a whole country. People of all ages, kids, we made ourselves a threat to them, and then we paid ourselves extra money and tax because of hazard duty. It's none of our fucking business. Just like the shit that they're doing now is none of our fucking business. Countries can have if they get it, they can have it. It's their right to defend themselves. But the story goes, no, you can't. But look at who looks like a fool. I bet homeboy is Orange Man pissed. Because he looks like a fool. They played him for a fool. He's a pawn and he thinks he's a big man. Because they're all pawns. Because if you have a price, if you have a number, if you've done things that other people can hold over your head, then you are controlled. And if you're controlled, then they're gonna make you dance, puppet dance. That's why I was done with the military. As soon as I saw 10:30 night on 9/11, when I didn't even know the towers fell until frickin' 10:30 at night. Because they fell and we started deploying equipment to bomb fucking Afghanistan. Incidentally, understand the United States, with Congress and all of its reindeer games and bullshit, has not made a declaration of war since 1942. It hasn't done what it's supposed to do. Hasn't done the letter of the law. Maybe the spirit of the law. Hasn't done the letter of the law since 1942. And how many people have died with shit on it that says USA? And now USA is dissolving because we get what we give. And if we decimate countries for no good reason, look at what's happening to this country. People are selling out. Everyone's all worried about the land grab. Dude, I've been talking about the land grab 7-8 years. It's just catching on. But don't be mad at the people that buy the land. You know, if they're from countries not America. Don't be mad at them for having a price that somebody sold it to. You know, because if people are really cool, how come people aren't, like, you don't want to be a farmer no more, but you see someone that has ambition, you know, and you want to turn it over to somebody, like, freaking sell it to them for $1. Like, there's all kinds of ways we can circumvent the system. Just don't do what the system does. How are they going to give you consequences for shit that you got extra cars? Give it to a single mom. Like, give shit away that you don't need. Like, let's make their freaking numbers game obsolete. Because I see how insignificant money is to people. Kids are getting $100 for catching mice. Wow. I wonder what the tooth fairy is bringing them. So here's some of the pictures. So Sergeant Phil took us around. There's a monastery that's common. That's what. See, they sell you. Come defend your country, which is bullshit because America is imploding from within. Because people are just self-will run riot. We're living in Babylon. Every place is Babylon. And so the result of selfishness and greed, there's byproducts to that, and that's people like, dude, there's so many like people that age out of the foster system. There's all these people that, like, they're grown up, they're raised by their grandparents, and now they're like grandparents can't take care of themselves, so they can't freaking go and use their education. They got, like, the world isn't what it used to be, so we need to make it accommodating. I want to see more mobile units. Since there's so many neurotypicals and sensitives and stuff like that, I want to see more people going out in the community and, like, going into the elder's house and get drawing their blood in the comfort of their own home, so they don't need to be stressed by the whole, like, getting in the car and doing all that stuff. Like, it's time to accommodate, you know, do what we're supposed to do on planet Earth, and that is to be the custodians of the earth, to love, take care of, and keep her clean, and make sure animals don't get stuck in fences and like that, and you know that people are safe from the elements because there's a lot of flooding. It's monsoon season, and because of the fire, like it's just creating a big mess here in New Mexico. And so, but oh, here's the view from my hotel room. That's Crete. That was the view. That's from the panorama. It's so prehistoric. It looks like it's, oh, I guess 25 years old. These pictures are in good condition. So that's this right here. Let me show you the hotel. I'll show you the hotel. So I'll show you the view of the hotel and where my hotel room was. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So this is the hotel. That's the panorama. So that's where I got to stay when we bombed Iraq. Now it's backwards, mind you, because of the camera. So the view from this camera is right there. I was third floor up, like that far in. So that's the view from there. And then when I was there, they redid the infinity pool for tourist season. That infinity, this pool right here, right there, that goes off an edge. Okay? So they redid this whole pool. That goes off the ledge. Here's me screwing around in that ledge on one of my days off. I was like, hey, somebody take a picture of me? So I'm bouncing back and forth from playing tourist because I'd never been to. This is like, so this is here's the view from the sun. That's the Sun Hotel view. And another thing is there's a lot of cheating that goes on when people are deployed too. There's a lot of people that cheat on their spouses. And then this is the bullshit with all the planes coming in or helicopters and stuff like that. And I have pictures of Humvees. Humvees trigger me. Jeeps trigger me. I get triggered by Jeeps. And it's all because of that show MASH. Because Hollywood made MASH, and they put Jeeps in it, and then they had people that went off to wars and used Jeeps, and so it's like a whole stamp. It's like a whole. If America had a bracelet with those little trinkets on it, you'd put a Jeep on there. Heaps of creeps drive Jeeps. It's like a signature of what nonsense America is. It's just part of the script. Plus they're vehicles. I had a girlfriend that bought one. But my generation, like the Humvee. It's the Humvee. The Humvee, that because that's what they deployed them there, like 200 of them, and then they freaking started selling them after that shit. So then everywhere I see Humvees, and people think that they're cute because they used them in war, but we had no business being there. We had no business being there. And I look at all the numbers in Wicca. Oh, this is in like the monastery. I got to go to Arteria buildings for the monastery, so that was kind of crazy. So that's what wars, a lot of wars about is vacations. And see, you got to think about the people that get to go, because only the get to go to the good places. Because otherwise, you get the shit detail. Like, I mean, I could have gone to Qatar. I didn't want it. I went to Alaska a couple of times. That was kind of cool. But this is, it was so weird to go to war and then wake up and watch the news where all the joint forces were bombing all night long, because they bomb all night. Report what they did at night during the day. Here's a bigger view of the hotel. So when people go off, it's not going off and digging trenches and foxholes and stuff like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. That's not what war is. And don't let them make you believe that that's what war is about. So you come back and go to their parades. Don't do that. Don't be a part of their parades. It's got to change. People have got to stop perpetuating the old systems. Like you can't freaking want a new Earth, a different Earth, and then continue to celebrate the old stupid holidays. My brain wants to call it the citronella holiday. It's what is that? Like, Fraudulent, what is that holiday? They said it even on. They paid homage to it on Big Bang Theory. I can't remember. My brain has holes in it. I try the best. So all this stuff, I don't even believe what I see on the media of what's happening. It's just bringing up a bunch of stuff. And when I looked up, because I just was going to work. I didn't know any of the stats of what they were saying. Like what the news was portraying in America. Like that whole period, I might as well have been off planet from March 20th, and then I came back April, like it was after my birthday. But I just knew America's just a lie. It's just a lie. And how long are people going to perpetuate the lie? 2003 invasion of Iraq. They say see, and they just talk about horses. They don't even mention Crete in the Wikipedia. And that was like a main hub. They say they used a total of 589,799. That's complete bullshit. During that time, my era, 911 happened and stuff like that, but it's just a numbers game. Like, they've been trying to get people, they've been having trouble with retention for years because they can't sell the lie anymore. And then they said 196 plus killed, 551 plus wounded, casualties and losses for 172 Americans. But then, on the Iraq, it says 11,000 to 45,000. They're making shit up, dude. Why can't people understand? So which is it? Was 11,000 people died, or was it 45,000? And there's unknown. They just make stuff up, and then they call it reality or history. That's what they do. They make shit up and then they call it history. There's no fucking way we spent 160,000 troops. When I saw what the little Marines did, they were pissing themselves, dude. Every time I see Marines and they're all Semper Fi, I'm like, dude, yeah, until you have to do the deed and then it Semper sucks, dude. It's not all big and bad and tough guys. No, it might be when they have the upper hand, but when they're alone thoughts, they're little boys that freaking were playing video games last week in their mom's basement, and now they're freaking killers, murderers. Yeah, it's just all bullshit. And I knew on 9/11 what was coming. I just didn't know I was going to be on Crete. So, understand that military intelligence, dude, it's an oxymoron. There's no fucking such thing. And, when I went in, I got my airman's manuals right over there still. All my stuff, I had this stuff for years that talks about how you're not supposed to talk. And now you can, Google old military bases and stuff like that. You can look up, It's just weird. Like everything's a lie. It's like opposite world. Like I was a kid and watched that Red Butler guy. Is that his name? Red. There was a character. It was like a skit show, and a dude would look in the mirror, and he would see opposite worlds, and he would go into the mirror, and he would have a reality experience within the mirror where everything was opposite and backwards. And so that's always stuck with me. But to think that, like, Hollywood is an extension of DC, and DC, like, perpetuates us, the whole Israel, all bombing over, it's all bullshit next to, all of it, it's just all none of our business. It has none of what happens over there. None of it has anything to do with America and their bro club and their ritual bullshit. None of it has to do with it, and people got caught up, and now they gotta freaking get caught up in something else because they don't even, dude. America's military now is a fucking joke, dude. Just like even that little pony show that they had for Flag Boy's birthday. It was just more evident, like, they looked like shit. Like, their uniforms they were just, like, not ready for defend. And then on the news, I open up a browser that talks about how a young Navy girl was found dead on the bay, like, again? Like, Fort Hood and other soldiers, like, found dead, like, again? Like, these are the people that are supposed to be defending us. And they can't even keep... But when I was in Offutt, we had to bring light alls down. This kid was an... country doesn't understand that SP, security police, that's a whole racket within itself. Kids that they don't got nothing going on, I'm going to go in and be an SP, security police. I'll do a couple years and go back and work in the cop shop back in the hometown, and I'll just keep bullying all the same people I did in high school. I'll just keep doing it. I'll just keep, it's just how it is. They're the second security police, the police for the military. When they go to take their ASVAB test, when they go to take their test to join the military, I asked my recruiter this. I said, are they the lowest test scores in the military? He said, no, they're the second. Who's the lowest? The people that wipe off the gym equipment, the people in services. Okay. So all they have to do is score a fucking 37 to get into the fucking military and then get a gun and protect people on the base. That's not very intelligent. And then they go back and work in their local cop shops. They're not very intelligent. Look at whoever's watching this, go to your local city and look up the police. All they need is prior military, high school, or GED. And they hire the assholes because they are the asshole. And because the asshole knows who the asshole is. Because like attracts like. So their ego is fed. They're always getting the best of equipment. They're always getting the best cars. They beat the shit out of them. They wreck them. That's okay. Here's keys to your new one. There's no accountability. They used to break our shit all the time on the flight line. Never fucking got in trouble. Because it's all a politics. It's all just blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you won't do it again. Oh, sure, I won't do it again. And then you go out to, service the equipment. And what they would do is they would take the heaters from the aircraft and they would request them to their cars when they were sitting at a gate, okay? And then they would take the end of these heater ducts that were like $15,000 and they would stomp on the end of them so it'd squish them down real tight, and then they would stick them in the windows of their little police cars. And then they would turn on what's supposed to service an aircraft. They would use it for their car heaters. And then they would take nice little naps for hours and hours and hours while breaking our shit. See, and they never fucking got in trouble. So yeah, I don't have any respect for any little men that wear badges that say, listen to what we say. Because I don't think most of them can fucking read. So I only respect people that do respectable things. And this is just based on my experience. The first time I had a 45 pointed in my face, when I was 15, Mom's boyfriend, the dude that slammed her head in the car door. One day, I was threatened to be killed by both sides of the law, by a scumbag with a fucking screws loose because of too many drugs and alcohol. But Mom just couldn't have him get arrested, so she had to give him a ride out of town, and then he took her cane, freaking broke it over his knee, and proceeded to chase me around the car, going, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. Then we got him calmed down back in the car, took him over to his sister's house. We were on the way home. And then the RPD, Reading Police Department, pulled Mom up, saw us, did a UE, flipped over, had the 45. I'm like, dude, the guy just tried to kill me. He's not here. You see, you got the report that a 15-year-old girl was being threatened to be killed, and then now you're doing it too. So it was a bad day for me. So no, I don't fucking like police. Because they're not very fucking intelligent. And then they feel bad themselves and then take it out on other people. That's how I found out that Mom's head got her, that dude slammed her head in the car door, because I listened, he was running her name, I listened to like all domestic violence disputes that they had between them. So that was when I was just 15 though. I know a lot of people are real freaked out about stuff. Dude, I'm seeing people in their 30s like a cat gets stuck in a cupboard and they're like, this is the trauma that we dealt with tonight. And I'm like, dude, if you are that fucking old, that is the scariest fucking thing that has ever happened to you, good fucking deal. Let me put some little talcum powder on your little fucking ass, tell you did good, you're gonna be great, and send you on your fucking way. Are you kidding me with that shit? That people aren't ready for what's gonna happen next. The earth changes are coming. I can feel it. And we create realities, so the more people hear it, the earth changes are gonna come, where it's just gonna flip floppity whippity wop. Here we come, just like a drop. So it's not me. It's just how things are. So there's gonna be, this is where freaking like lots of people are gonna check out. But I'm one of those people. How come? Why don't we talk about how they lie about numbers and population numbers? How talks about how much bullshit population numbers are? 8 billion people on the planet. Oh yeah, because in 1992 on TV shows there was only 4. And like if you read in this encyclopedia, like in this part of history, like it's just their numbers are just made up. Population numbers, it's just a guessing game. Are they counting all those people that got lost down in the tunnels? Are they still counting those people? Are they counting like look at all the military? Because back my era was the last era that people got moved around. But it was in the 90s that people were getting moved around every 3 years, going from this duty, because they had more people in the military. But you don't have people to fill the slots. So they're basically, it's putting people in here. I remember when Osman left Offutt, like he came down here to freaking one of the freaking bases down in New Mexico, right? Like it's He just, I understand when they move in the military, it's not like civilians, you know, like you got people that come in, they pack up their shit, they put them in a truck, and then they move it for you. You don't gotta worry about shit. How come everybody doesn't have that? Like, you know, like all the benefits that people have from living on a base, like I always thought it's not fair. Everybody should have these benefits. Everybody just being American, like we should have instead of like we should have like instead of libraries, automobile places, garages where you can take your vehicle that is fully stocked with whatever, and you can just rent the stall. You can go in and you can use the stall for like $25 an hour. Nothing insane and crazy. Just stuff to like, you know, buy pig mat, replace tools, stuff like that. And then you can go in and use and change your own transmission, and you know, because there's gonna be more people living in their cars because they don't have access because it's been taken by a bunch of lip dick fucking white dudes with control freak issues and inferiority complexes that keep sending money over there for stupid reasons. Now we gotta learn to fucking circumvent those assholes because they're just gonna keep trying to perpetuate the whole we gotta protect freedom and democracy. They don't need nukes, and who the fuck are we don't get to designate who gets what to defend themselves. That's like what fucking control freak dictators and shit do. When you get to go around policing the world, like you gotta teach people how to police themselves, and then you don't need all the forces to manage, control, and dictate. It's as simple as that. Teach kids to meditate when they're young, to find their center and calm themselves. I was lucky to have a mom with my nacho divergence, but she had doctors that would give her tricks to help direct and guide me. And one of the things, I think it was Dr. Chambers that was Sarah's dad, went to high school with his daughter. She was a year or two ahead of me. He had braces. He was a grown and had braces. And then I was a grown-up woman and had braces. Anyway, he was a nice guy, but like how the importance of diet and not so much sugar. And then like when I get really upset, she would put cold water on the back of my neck and stuff like that. Like to do things to switch the frequency in people. And we have instead of police, like, cause whatever, but like people, or maybe all the police need to have sensitivity training. Oh yeah, I started to tell a story about how that one SP kid, it was his first shift. Dude went through all the way through basic training, got his first shift. It was down at the E4 hangar. Incidentally, the E4, that's the Doomsday plane. That was the mission that I supported. It's not what people think it is. And because of the Patriot Act, our country has been surveillancing us with the RC-135s. All they are is huge listening devices, and they would just, back when everybody started getting cell phones in 2001, 2, 3, then they would just fly across America, eavesdrop, and then determine who was a fucking terrorist. This country's a joke, man. And other people are starting to see it. I just have the act, because you're not going to hear military members talk about this shit because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. They don't understand that that hand that has fed them has been poisoning them. And I'm not on biting hands that feed you until they try to fucking poison me, and then I'm gonna expose these fuckers for who they are. And I've been saying for 20 years, don't let people love enlist. Don't let people you love enlist. You know what? My brother went to Iraq. He was in Iraq for a year. This was like in 2011. This was like 10, 9. 2009. And I watched his dog for a year. And he went, and you know what? He's an Army JAG. He's in the Army Guard. There's only 4,000 supposedly in the whole United States. But that fucker, put over there, you got tax-free, you got hazard, you got all, he put on rank over there. People don't get the sign-on bonuses that military members get. You don't get that in, like, well, I guess in corporate America you do, but they think like military, they got it so bad and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, on my birthday on Baghdad, coalition occupied Baghdad on April 9th. A lot of fucking military war shit happens on my birthday because of the energy. See, that's why I'm trying so hard to stay peaceful, because I got all this war energy in me. If I can go against my own nature, will, so to speak, like the rest of the world. See, they don't have military conflicts. They don't have wars. They don't have these bullshit engagements unless these fucking assholes in brass at top are conflicted within themselves. See, they feel bad about themselves, and they gotta literally take it out on the whole fucking world. And then they're bombing the world. Earth is its own organism. Who the fuck? You don't think there's that kind of karma for bombing planet Earth? We're in hurricane season. What do you think? So here comes the destruction, the extra, because that's how energy works, see? What energy you put out, you get back. So America's kind of fucked right now, so just watch it, though. People have free will. They have choices. They can do things different anytime they want. I think I'm going to go out and pick up some garbage. That's how I've been burning off steam lately, because that's the only thing that I have control over. Because I can't go off hither, dither, and yon, and go here and go there, because ain't nobody's going to watch Mom. And where I live, things like utilities are iffy. They're flaky because the people that fucking made the systems are flaked. And they paid themselves and bought themselves big stupid trucks and gave themselves all these paying these the work. They went out under a big shade tree and took a nap. So the consequences are coming up. Let's see. So, where is that one? I just got. Yesterday I had a headache so bad. It was a rough one yesterday. Where is it? Maybe it was in. Alright, Benny, I'll let you out just a minute. Yeah. How come I can't find... Oh my god, he makes my brains rattle. I hate it. Shut up. Active. Somebody liked it. Oh wait. I don't even know what it is. Here it is. Oh, here it is. In 2025, the U.S. Air Force officers' enlistment bonuses through the Selective Retention Bonus Program and Accession Bonuses, the SRB program, is intended to retain skilled airmen in high-demand jobs. So the bonuses can range from 180,000 to 360,000 over the course of the airman's career. Now, think about it. You got people putting on break, you have a freaking, military engagement, and then they go over there if they're in the cooperative, and then they get to get that bonus for tax-free. It's all a fucking game. People need to see freaking America is a Ponzi scheme. And of course, we're the other military members that can recognize and admit this and be like, you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. It can be better. But no, they're all lost in a fucking bottle or down a pill or fucking, like in an arsenal or doing crazy stupid shit, because instead of rectifying the past to make a better future, they don't admit shit that they did, so they just keep it all. Or maybe they did nothing, and then they just act like they did something. Maybe it's stolen. I don't know. It's all stolen valor to me. But it doesn't matter. But anything any of us has done has made America a better place now today in 2025, and it's dissolving. I'm still looking for those military members. All those people that are the core values and shit. No, they're still fucking for one side or the other, and to me, it's a circle of greed. Like, it's purple. They're all colonists. They're all fucking with the lower classmen and middle classmen of this nation, but they can, because America's just gonna sit there and take it, because that's all America's ever done. And when I think it's so hilarious when I listen to fucking dudes talk about how America's gonna stand up. Dude, America ain't gonna stand up. It hasn't. There's these little hold your sign and stuff. No, not compared to all the damage we have done to other places. There's too many people that have done too many shitty things in this country, and they just stopped doing the shitty things. But they've never made up for all the shitty things that they've done. They've never made it right. They never did the time, and that is where the imbalance is. So. It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get wacky. But hey, I'm officially close. Maybe I'll have a place one day where people on the internet can come hang out, and I'll show you around northern New Mexico if that is what you so desire. I am ordained, so if people want to get married by a heyoka, that's kind of fun. So I got all kinds of ideas to make things better. So I'm not too worried about the fallout. And if I don't make it to the other side, I've stated a lot of these ideas in videos over the course of the last several years, so people feel they can take them and run with them if they want. They are useful. They are viable. Just give credit where credit's every now and again. And if not, oh well. That's your karma, not mine. So. Again, America's a Ponzi scheme. They've stoked war up but Hollywood stoked the whole industrial military complex storyline, and then they sell it by freaking doing shit to ourselves and saying stuff. Dude, it's so my brother. Like, he used to torment me when I was a kid, and then I fucking would defend myself and retaliate, and then I got in trouble. And this is the same shit, and he's a part of the system. He makes $240,000 still as a lawyer for the state of California. And he don't give a shit about me and Mom. He told me Mom's my problem. To people that he works with, I probably don't even exist. Which is funny, because I have a sister, a Virgo. He's an August Virgo, and my sister was a September Virgo. She's dead from living that, imbalanced in ego Virgo. Into Virgo, they're just doing all those, living how they want. Yeah, it cost her her life out of Phoenix. So I've seen it, So I've been, she has 3 kids by a dude, and I didn't even know that he had a sister. So I don't really have to mourn her very often, because people that don't exist. I never did nothing to freaking, it's just weird. The circumstances of my life are weird. I've never lived on the same planet everybody else is. Yet they want me to go along with their stupid bullshit. I live in Taos, and they start this shit every fucking year. This is my fourth summer here. Every fucking summer they do this shit. There's only like 7,000 people that live in this town, but there's all these people that come from other places. They travel all this distance just so they can shit different toilets. It's just so wasteful and so mundane. Yet it's how tourist towns are calling people zoos. So they come here just to take up space. And then they have people, obscure people, and they block off the park so they can have mediocre concerts in the park. It's so absurd. So like you're blocking your own people out so you can charge the people that fucking live here to see shit. It is just the greediest, selfish, dumbest stuff. And that's how they do it in Taos. In New Mexico, dude, there's only 2 million people that live in this whole state, supposedly. You have the multi-billion-dollar weed industry. They pump their own oil in this state, so you have that multi-billion-dollar industry. They have all their freaking, like, dude, nobody should be without anything. The only reason why people go without things in New Mexico is because there's some fucking some entitled asshole that doesn't want to help them. That's it. That's the whole reason. Because there's enough for everybody. So for anybody to not get what they need, it's just because somebody's being spiteful. Yeah, somebody's feeling. So it's all that shit is coming back around. It's all getting washed away. Notice, look at all the places it's just literally getting washed away in New Mexico. Maybe they'll rebuild different, probably not. Like every time I hear people complain about water conservation, oh my god, water's life, I'm like, dude, I'll believe that you people give a fuck about water when you stop letting the Taos Ski Valley making fake snow. Stop them to make fake snow with their fucking nasty chemicals that go in the water system. But you don't fucking really care about water, but you like making those signs and handing out those pamphlets and getting all those grants for saying, we care. It's terribly, terribly disingenuous. But that's what America is. America's a whole lot of getting paid for saying, we fucking care, but not doing the work. And now look what's happening. Oh well, all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day.